fighters are in the ring and they are ready. So for the thousands of fans here at the sold-out Hard Rock of Atlantic City and the millions watching around the world on HBO, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner with his trainer Mark Ramsey, wearing white with black and officially weighing in at 174.4 pounds. This 2008 Olympian now has a perfect professional record. 23 fights, 23 victories, including 11 big wins by knockout from Turbo, Antioquia, Colombia, and Montreal, Canada. The reigning and defending WBC silver light heavyweight champion, the undefeated challenger, Eleider Álvarez. And his opponent across the ring with his trainer, Eleider, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with silver and officially weighing in at 174 pounds. His professional record, 32 victories, 28 of those 32 victories by knockout. Only 2 defeats with 1 draw. Damy Gospodarz from Chelyabinsk, Russia, the 2-time world champion, the reigning and defending unified WBO IBA light heavyweight champion of the world, Sergey Kovalev.
Okay, gentlemen, the schedule about 12 rounds. I've gone over the rules in the dressing room. I expect you to obey my commands at all times. Most of all, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, good luck.
It's one thing to be the crusher against opponents who are in there with you. They're put in there with you to build back your confidence. It's another thing to be the crusher against the elite challenger in the division. And that is Álvarez. Kovalev is fighting his elite challenger.
I'm always impressed in our Friday meetings with fighters who have big personality. I had not previously met and spoken to Eleider Álvarez. He was impressive. He's a very bright guy, very exceptionally aware of everything around him, has a ready smile. Really enjoyed getting to know him during our meeting yesterday, and he gave me the impression, Roy Jones, that he's ready to deliver a big effort here tonight.
Yeah, he's been ranked #1 for a long time, Jim, and nobody would ever fight him. Stevenson never would give him his fight. He's just been sitting at the top, but not getting the proper opportunities. So sometimes you wonder, does that fire still burn, or has it fizzled out some? If it's still burning, we'll see a great fight here tonight. If it's fizzled out, then Kovalev will take it out.
See the difference in hand speeds from afar. Álvarez quick with his hands.
He's a technically all-around good fighter, Max.
Yep. Well, you and I have an ongoing debate about the better puncher between Kovalev and Bivol. And whatever you come down on that, you say Bivol, I say Kovalev. Kovalev to me is a heavy-handed puncher. You know, he doesn't have to hit you just right.
No, you're right there, Max, and that's the difference. But like I said, and it's like you say, it's what people think about it. When you look at it, a heavy-handed guy is good, but a quick-handed puncher with decent hands is going to be a harder puncher because of the shock effect.
I bring it up because Kovalev now is fighting a faster fighter, a good boxer, and he doesn't have to hit him just right to get something done. He just has to hit him.
Well, all he had to do is hit anybody like that, Max, because he's such a heavy-handed guy, like you say. But the thing about Kovalev is that he doesn't have shocking left hooks. He has a good right hand, but his left hook is not shocking. That's why Andre could beat him so easy. And a body shot like that they just got caught with can cause problems for Kovalev too. That was a good left body shot by Álvarez.
I always bring up the story about Kovalev after having been treated somewhat dismissively by the Russian Federation and having drifted for a couple of years after his amateur career in Russia. He finally came to the United States and went to former Evander Holyfield trainer Don Turner's heavyweight camp in eastern North Carolina to present himself as a candidate to become a professional fighter. And the first thing he told Turner was, I think I can box, but I'm not really sure I hit hard enough to be a professional fighter. And Turner said, well, let me put you in the ring against somebody and we'll see. And after a couple of rounds, Turner called him over to the ropes and said, son, I can tell you this. You may have problems as a professional fighter, but punching power is not going to be one of them. That is what you have.
And it definitely has never been one of those problems.
He hasn't had too many problems as a pro either.
Yeah, remember? Okay? All right, man? Okay? Let's go.
Eleider Álvarez does have to be careful because he's backing up, knocking that jab down with his right hand. If Kovalev does have a hook, he'll use it to come around that right hand.
What I like about Álvarez, Roy, his eyes, the focus. You know, you see this with elite boxers. Wide open, right on the opponent, intense, not giving him anything.
Competitive first round between Kovalev and Eleider Álvarez, both of them throwing 25 or 26 punches and both of them landing only 4. And that's an Álvarez kind of round.
You're right.
You're doing great. You're doing great, Sergey. Relax yourself. Fade, and then right hook. Just stick it in there. Sergey, use your jab. Use your jab. Hit him in the body. Hit him everywhere. Everything is fine. Other than that, everything is great.
Let's go. Out the corner, man.
There's a scowl on Eleider Álvarez's face, and he rushes into the ring. Gets a pushback from referee David Fields as he goes after Sergey Kovalev at the beginning of round number 2.
There you see Kovalev throw that hook because he sees Álvarez reaching forward for the jab with the right hand.
Well, Max and I were talking during the first fight about the difference in power punch effectiveness between the right hand and the left hook, and how the left hook is the money weapon for a lot of guys because it's a shorter, quicker punch. Kovalev is a right-hand power puncher.
Yes,
he
sir.
wants to land the big ones.
Oh, good shot by Álvarez. That hurt Kovalev a little bit.
Yeah, and he landed one before that Kovalev walked through, but it was really accurate.
There was another one. And Kovalev also landed a hook.
And that's why I said, not every fight you can say this about, but this one could come down to punching power. Does Álvarez hit hard enough to get Kovalev's respect, and can he take Kovalev's power?
That's right, Max. Can he take Kovalev's power is what we really need to see. I know he hits hard enough to get Kovalev's respect, but can he take Kovalev's power?
I mean, I think the key to taking Kovalev's power is not getting hit with it.
Well, that and being ready when it comes. Like right there, he's ready for it so he can deal with it. Everybody knows in boxing, the punch that hurts the worst is the one you don't see. Like that one right there, had he landed.
Quick hands from Álvarez on the inside. And good defense.
I don't like Kovalev's look right now, Max. I don't like nothing about the way Kovalev's face is looking right now.
No, he looks like he's already recognizing he may need his power to bail him out.
Yes.
Meaning that he recognizes there's a decent chance he gets outboxed here tonight.
Well, not only outboxed, the power is scaring him a little bit too, Jim. When you see a guy start to look confused like that, it's not about getting outboxed. It's about running into a big shot.
Yeah, I think he recognized, whoa, he stung me with that a couple times, and I didn't see it coming.
Exactly.
Chance of a lifetime, really, for Eleider Álvarez, who has waited so long, as Roy Jones pointed out, for his chance to fight at the very top of the division. Adonis Stevenson made him wait. Ultimately, Álvarez, as the mandatory challenger, figured out, I'm not going to get this opportunity. Being a mandatory for Adonis Stevenson means you don't get the fight.
You know, we're getting what we wanted to see, which was in the aftermath of Andre Ward's undressing of Kovalev, especially in the rematch. What happens when there's a really good boxer who's starting to do some of the same stuff? Will Kovalev come undone, or will he remain disciplined?
Well, the bad thing about that, Max, is that if he comes undone, then all the blame he put on John David Jackson will go out the window.
Break,
Alvarez is making Kovalev reach. And then when Kovalev gets inside, he's tying him up. And Alvarez has had a lot of advantages here in the first couple of rounds, landing 17 out of 55 so far to Kovalev's 13 out of 65.
I'm very happy. I was very happy that you did that. Il faut continuer de marcher. Continue to work. You're boxing very well. Use your legs. You like the movement. And you're doing very intelligently. You got to continue to push the punch.
Here we see Eleider land a jab followed by a decent right hand, was a little high on the jaw. If it would have been on the chin or lower, we may have seen some real strange activity.
This is the first real test for Kovalev and his new trainer, Abror Tursun Pilatov, together. We haven't seen Tursun Pilatov talking him through a really competitive fight. We've seen him talk him through two real easy walkover type knockouts. So here you have what could become a tactical battle, and it would pose some questions for both Kovalev and Tursun Pilatov.
Meantime, Kovalev is usually a very confident fighter, you know, an arrogant fighter even before his fights in the meetings with us. And usually doesn't really worry about the opponent, no matter who it is. But before this fight, he was very respectful of Álvarez, recognizing that Álvarez was a very good fighter and that it would be a difficult fight.
And that Álvarez jab is causing Kovalev some real problems right now.
Beating Kovalev to the punch with that jab.
Making him look like an old guy.
Kovalev starts to move forward to try to throw a shot against Álvarez, and Álvarez pops him with the jab, taking advantage of Kovalev's forward momentum.
Another good jab by Álvarez.
He's doing a good job early on of being up inside of Kovalev's power or back away from it, creating a distance that makes it difficult for Kovalev to land the kinds of shots he wants to land.
And I must say this about Sergey Kovalev. He did learn from Ward that you must go to the body because he's throwing more left body shots than I've ever seen him throw before.
Except
like
maybe
that.
against John Pascal.
Like that.
He did that against Pascal in both fights, and it served him very well.
And not as much as he's doing tonight, Jim. He's making a conscious effort to do it a lot here tonight.
He's being outboxed, though, so far by Álvarez, in my opinion.
Well, that's not shocking at all. Álvarez is the pure boxer by comparison.
Big jab by Álvarez again.
Once again, Kovalev coming forward, and Álvarez timing the jab.
That's what I mean. Does Álvarez pop hard enough to get Kovalev's respect? Because Kovalev can start to kind of run at you. And you got to put something on him to dissuade him. And Álvarez has been able to do that. When Kovalev starts posturing like that, Álvarez's been able to put some stuff on him that's made Kovalev hesitant to just rush in.
And the only thing that bothers me is at the end of that last round, when Álvarez was holding on to Kovalev, he held him as though something had hurt him. Usually a guy doesn't hold like that unless he's been hurt.
Well, Kovalev has the reputation of a puncher, and maybe Álvarez is being especially cautious on the inside.
Well, and you heard Mark Ramsey tell Álvarez between rounds, I like that you did that. I wanted you to do that. So he may be saying that Álvarez was holding Kovalev and wrestling him around just a little bit to destroy his rhythm.
And that could have been the case, too.
Pushing him back, leaning on him on the ropes.
Making it an ugly fight. Good shot by Kovalev.
Interesting, by the way, that Álvarez's native language from Colombia is Spanish. Ramsey communicates with him between rounds in French. August 28th marks the premiere of LeBron James' new conversation series, The Shot, with special guests Odell Beckham Jr., Snoop Dogg, and Jon Stewart. Later that night, 24/7 kicks off the countdown to next month's highly anticipated rematch between Canelo Álvarez and Gennady Golovkin, which comes your way September 15, only on HBO pay-per-view.
And then as soon as he attacked, you have to do the counterattack. After that. If somebody attacks you, you have to do the same thing. It's very excellent.
Here we see Eleider Álvarez doing some really good job, work with that jab, Perfect jab right there, catches Kovalev before he gets started. Then it comes right back again later in the round. Right when you see Kovalev getting ready to start, boom. Pops with that jab, throws everything Kovalev is doing off limit, off timing. and they exchanged jabs that time.
CompuBox numbers in the round, however, Kovalev landed 13 out of 56, which were both highs in the fight so far for him. So let's go to Harold Letterman, our unofficial ringside scorer, and see how he has it through 3.
Okay, Jim, I got a 2-1, 29-28, Sergey Kovalev. Jim, I think that, you know, he's landing the harder punches and he's coming forward. He's the aggressor in the fight so far. 3 close rounds. Eleider Álvarez also jabbing very, very well. But I think that Kovalev is getting the best of him with that left hook. 2-1, Sergey Kovalev.
Max, did you give the first round to Álvarez?
I think Álvarez may be pitching a shutout right now.
Interesting.
But I agree with Harold. They're competitive rounds, but I think Álvarez is mostly picking off Kovalev's shots, and he's the one doing the clean landing.
Anytime Álvarez starts first, he's in front of this fight. He's beating Kovalev to the punch. He's landing the last punch going out. When they go exchange, he's definitely winning them when he starts it.
But isn't Harold correct that Kovalev is the aggressor and is going forward more often?
Yeah, but when you're walking into jabs like that, Jim, it doesn't really matter. He's walking right into a beautiful jab that's landing clean right down the middle of his face, almost like a straight right hand.
Looks like Kovalev has chosen volume as his antidote to the problem. He's trying to throw more punches than Álvarez and keep the pressure on.
Smartest thing he can do.
Now Kovalev is landing, I think, really for the first time in the fight.
And I think he might have hurt Álvarez with a right-hand shot. Álvarez comes back with determination.
The keys to the fight. Can Álvarez get his respect? Can he take Kovalev's power? Kovalev's landing some huge shots, and Álvarez is taking them so far.
And shouting at Kovalev as he does.
Told him, come on. Oh, good shot by Kovalev. Good hook by Kovalev.
Álvarez may want to tighten up the defense right now.
Yep.
Instead of showing us how brave he is, he's taking the power. I don't know how much more he can take of those kind of shots.
Crowd is very excited here.
This is good
Boxing
fight,
returns to Atlantic City.
Good fight, Jim. They're exchanging. Oh, good hook by Kovalev.
Sergey's having a big round with power punches.
Good body shot by
The crusher may be back. Hard left hook to the body by Kovalev.
Oh, good body shot again.
Looking for another right hand upstairs as he continues to work the body against Álvarez.
Now the question is, what's Álvarez got?
Yep.
And is Kovalev just going to convince him, hey, this is a different level, I'm too good, I hit too hard? Or can Álvarez, having weathered the storm so far, regain control of the fight?
This is when you find out, has that fire fizzled out from waiting, or does he still have a fire burning in him?
It could be discouraging for Kovalev should Álvarez mount something here by the end of the round, Roy.
You're exactly right, Max, but I don't think he's going to have time.
And I think Álvarez just wants to get out of the round now.
Oh,
There's a right hand. Just as I say he's done, he's not done. Straight right hand shot.
We did show you the base. We don't need that. We are going to leave that for later on when the two boxers are very tired. But I need you to use the technical, be technical, and then we're going to go to. And if you listen to me all night long, we're going to win the fight.
Don't let him go. Don't let him go. Keep the pressure. Keep the pressure on him. You're doing everything you need to do.
This is how this fight is going back and forth. This round, you see Kovalev land a jab, followed by a good short overhand right that went right behind Álvarez's gloves, right on the chin. Then Kovalev, remembering to go to that body, throws a beautiful straight right hand to the body right there, followed by a big left hook that was partially blocked.
11 Eleider Álvarez fights have been tracked by CompuBox. And prior to that round, never had an opponent landed 25 power shots in a round against Eleider Álvarez. Kovalev landed 25 of 60 power punches against Álvarez in the 4th round. The most powerful fusillade Eleider Álvarez has ever tasted in his professional boxing career.
Kovalev can box, by the way. You know, like in the first fight with Andre Ward, his boxing ability, as much as anything else, you know, had a lot of people thinking maybe he won that fight.
Yep, it sure did.
And here also his boxing ability allowed him to land those power shots against a very good defensive fighter.
And now Eleider got to start fighting though. Eleider got to make him fight like Andre did in the second fight.
We're on the boardwalk in Atlantic City for big-time boxing for the first time in nearly 4 years, and we have a hot fight in front of us as Sergey Kovalev tries to reestablish his dominance in the light heavyweight division against one of his best opponents ever, Eleider Álvarez, and both men have had big moments in the early rounds.
So far, again, the question of the fight. Can Álvarez's power keep Kovalev off him? I think that's actually to be determined. Kovalev is getting braver and a little more aggressive as the fight goes on. And can Álvarez take Kovalev's power? So far, yes, but he was shaken up in that last round.
Well, the big thing is if he shocks Kovalev while Kovalev is on the attack, can Kovalev take that?
Well, I'm of the opinion that Kovalev was a little bit shocked early on at how easily Álvarez could hit it, but then gradually made the decision, I can take this. I can walk through it, whatever it is. And whether it's the jab or the right hand, it isn't going to hurt me as much as I'll hurt him if I keep going forward.
Álvarez may want to reconsider only hitting with those 2 knuckles on one of these shots. Hit with all 4.
I like to see Álvarez use that jab a little bit more like he was earlier.
Good left hook again by Kovalev. Álvarez has managed to slow the pace down a little bit here in round number 5. Kovalev not nearly as active as he was in round 4.
Spent a lot of gas in round 4, Jim. Spent a lot of gas in round 4. Good right by Kovalev.
Yeah, and that's what Álvarez really has to avoid, Kovalev getting that right on track.
Oh, Kovalev would have threw it over the top that time. That might have ended matters.
Increasingly, Kovalev trying to trap Álvarez in the corner.
Yeah, you had him right then, but he didn't throw the shot.
This is what a light heavyweight title fight's supposed to be. Champion against his undefeated contender, back and forth, outcome to be determined.
This is potentially, we're only 5 rounds in, but this could build into a great fight.
We are very in control. And every time you move, you block them. You go to the right, use big defense, and then when you attack, counter attack. And I'm asking you to put a lot of pressure. And I need you to control the 2 next round. When you have the chance to go, you have to go 1-2, 1-2. Higher, it's better.
Fade him. You're looking really good, Sergey. You are just looking really good out there. Just fade him and do your thing. Fade him and punch hard when you can.
Álvarez outlanded Kovalev 10-9 in round number 5, rebounding from the big rally Kovalev was able to put together in the preceding round. Now, as we move to the 6th of a scheduled 12, you can see that Harold Letterman has given over the first 5 rounds to Sergey Kovalev for a 49-46 lead on his unofficial scorecard.
This fight to me looks like a 3 rounds to 2 fight so far either way.
Oh, good jab again.
For the moment, Álvarez has made a determination that he wants to try to limit Kovalev to landing 1 shot at a time, stop the combination punching, and the use of the jab was particularly meaningful for Álvarez early on.
Álvarez got a cut under his left eye.
Just a tiny trickle of blood under the eye. Yeah, right on the cheekbone.
Yep, good hook by Kovalev.
See, all of Kovalev's power wouldn't mean anything if he didn't have the technique to get those punches home. He has tricky offensive technique.
Álvarez has been cut 5 times previously around that left eye. It hasn't cost him any fights. He remains unbeaten. Kovalev has got some bruises on his face as well. And I'm told that the cut is the product of a headbutt, not of a punch. That's our determination via videotape. Not sure whether the commission is aware.
Well, the good thing is that with Crip Gold, they have replay here, video replay, so that's a good thing. Let's go back and look.
Exactly.
Kovalev's power is really showing itself here because they're both putting boxing moves on each other. They're both landing punches, but Kovalev's are simply doing more damage.
That's to be expected. That's why he's called the Crusher.
And the experience factor, Matt. His experience is starting to kick in now. He's doing things to Eleider to make Eleider feel uncomfortable.
He didn't allow himself to get rattled in the early rounds when Álvarez was beating him to the punch.
Right, the idea that, well, Kovalev will fold if the going gets tough because Andre Ward was able to do that to him. Doesn't mean that just normal excellent fighters can do that to him.
I don't think he folded in the first fight at all. I think the scoring of the first fight was highly questionable. In the second fight, no question, Ward with his body shots managed to get Kovalev to wilt.
Well, Kovalev showed discipline in the first fight over the second half. Didn't just throw caution to the wind and sell out. Continued to box responsibly. And many people feel he won his result.
Good body shot by Kovalev.
September 5 is the return of my show, The Fight Game. We'll preview the September 15 Canelo Alvarez-Gennady Golovkin rematch and also look ahead to the September 8 Boxing After Dark Superfly tripleheader headlined by Juan Francisco Estrada against Felipe Orocuta. Also, we've been shooting a feature piece all weekend here in Atlantic City about the potential return of big-time boxing on a regular basis to Atlantic City.
Here we see the two come together. As they come together, the Crusher's head hits Eleider Álvarez right up under that left eye. As they back away, bing, you see the blood start to trickle down.
Very accurate, accidental bunt.
Yep.
Halfway through the fight.
Back up.
Heading into round number 7. Let's quickly check in with Harold Letterman to see his unofficial score so far. Harold?
Okay, Jim. I got it 5 rounds to 1. 59-55, Sergey Kovalev. I think that, he's landing the hardest shots. He's doing more damage. And I think he's winning the rounds. Very, very close rounds, but I think he's winning them. Did you see that left jab? That was a hard left jab that landed on Álvarez. And he's landed shots like that to win the rounds. They're close, but Kovalev is winning them. 5 rounds to 1, Sergey Kovalev.
I agree that Kovalev started to pull away the fight a little bit based on the power difference.
Well, we saw a fight a few weeks ago between Jaime Munguia and Liam Smith in which Smith had the technical advantages, but ultimately Munguia was able to win the fight because he simply hit harder and was able to keep Smith back on his heels. That's a little bit of what's happening here, although you can't criticize Kovalev's technical adjustments over the course of the last 2 or 3 rounds. They've been very good.
He's made some very good adjustments, but the difference in this fight and that fight, Jim, was both guys were capable in this fight of knocking each other out. In that fight, I don't think Liam Smith really could have knocked Munguia out.
As he knew. And I mean, the dead giveaway in the Munguia-Smith fight was the grin on Smith's face in the middle rounds, as if to say, okay, we can all see what's going on here. I'm a better boxer, but he hits so hard, I can't really do anything about it.
Yep.
We were talking Ward Kovalev 1 and 2. In the second Ward fight, Ward seemed to break Kovalev.
Oh, there you go. Kovalev on a colossal right-hand shot by Eleider Álvarez. And I mean, he cold-cocked him with that right hand.
And he might not make it out this round.
Kovalev was shivering as he went down. That was a colossal punch. And here comes Álvarez. Uppercut lands with the right hand. Jab lands for Álvarez.
Kovalev is done, John.
Right hand again. Kovalev in big trouble.
If he has
find a way to move his feet. Álvarez has him right where he wants him. Can he put the finishing touches on? Crowd is going wild in Atlantic City. The Crusher in big trouble. Round number 7, down for a second time. Referee David Fields is known to give fighters a lot of rope. Fields is not a quick stoppage guy.
No, this fight cannot continue.
No, Kovalev's legs are done.
Kovalev is done.
Fields is not going to stop it. I'll bet you a dime to a dollar. He's going to let him continue.
This is outrageous.
This has to be a stop. Upset victory for Eleider Álvarez.
second word fight, how to weather the storm. Álvarez, in spite of that, as you said, Jim, cold cocked him with a right hand and took all those kind of decisions about determination and heart and will to win out of Kovalev's hands by separating Kovalev from his senses.
Only 11 knockouts and 23 wins coming in. And Álvarez, by his own admission, said to you, I can't hit flush as hard as I want to with the right hand. He did it tonight.
Those were 4 knuckle shots.
The look on Kovalev's face, one of utter disbelief. 3 knockdowns for Eleider Álvarez. Here it is. Look at this.
First shot comes the overhand right, Jim. Boom! And that took Kovalev out of the game. That ruined it for Kovalev. He was starting to get fatigued already. His legs were gone, but the overhand right really did it for him. Right, high on the chin, but a beautiful landing shot by Eleider Álvarez.
A temple shot.
A temple shot.
Now here's knockdown number 2.
There's a left hook that took him out, followed by a good straight right hand. That definitely took Kovalev down.
Now, we all felt that Fields should stop the fight at this point, but I knew his past record and I knew he wouldn't.
And there was an overhand right miss, followed by another left hook to the head, and right hand through the cross. That's the second knockdown, I think. When a fighter falls on his arm like that, Jim, it's usually about over.
And here's the third knockdown.
Overhand right.
Another right hand around the guard.
Left hand up the middle. And that'll do it.
And finally, Fields gets the message. And Eleider Álvarez has seized Sergey Kovalev's position in the light heavyweight division.
He had to wait a long time, Jim.
Here at the Hard Rock of Atlantic City, the end comes at 2 minutes, 45 seconds of round number 7. The winner by knockout victory, still undefeated, and now the new unified light heavyweight champion of the world, Eleider